Brothers and sisters, I would be remiss if I didn't mention to you as we begin this new year that the Gaza's Health Ministry has recently confirmed that more than 108,000 Palestinians have been injured in Israel's onslaught since October 7th, 2023. More than 45,500 men, women, and children have been killed, and the true toll is thought to be multiple times higher. In the words of Omar Bartov, who is actually an Israeli-American professor of Holocaust and genocide studies at Brown University, this is a total moral and ethical failure by the very countries that claim to be the main protectors of civil rights, democracy, and human rights around the world. And while we continue to mourn and pray for the loss of those innocent lives, we remain outraged, not only by our nation's complicity in funding, arming, and shielding this foreign nation's genocidal actions, ethnic cleansing, and annexation of the Gaza Strip and beyond, we are also appalled by those in our Cherry Hill and Camden County community, be they the local leaders or everyday citizens who support and cheer on such atrocities. Their actions are without a doubt shameful and will forever be a looming cloud over the history of our region and certain to cast an inescapable darkness on them the day of resurrection. The Prophet ﷺ, he says, "Al-dhulmu dhulumatun yawm al-qiyamah." Oppression will turn into darkness on the day of resurrection. So we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to grant relief to those that are suffering and liberation to those that have been oppressed.
I'm one of the leads of the New Jersey Muslim Heritage Month Coalition. When Muslim Heritage Month was first enacted in 2023 by Governor Murphy, our hope was to make this month as celebrated and recognized as African American History Month or Hispanic Heritage Month to bring recognition and pride in the Muslim community. This recognition is not just a piece of paper, but a recognition of the contributions of Muslims in the community and across the region. We want to thank you for your recognition and proclamation, as Muslim Heritage Month is a very relatively newer part of our state. We do hope in the future to have more of a presence in Cherry Hill and more of a public proclamation as well. And wanted to thank you for your recognition in your opening remarks as well. Thank you.
I am from descendants from Peter Stuyvesant. This is a great country. This is America. But it doesn't seem to have time to celebrate America, Americans, Americans that believe in home of the free, land of the brave, and patriotism. Our history, our wars, the people that fought it, and our heritage. The Constitution was, according to the Bible, our founders in the United States. Where's the celebration for that? Do we get a month? A lady who went to school here couldn't even give me change without looking at the cash register. She couldn't figure it out in her hands. The kids around here are saying they're not being taught what they need to learn. They're not being taught history. They're not being taught to celebrate it. They're not being taught to be proud of this country. People, we can celebrate them, yes. But I think it's about time to have a month of celebration of our great and glorious heritage and how wonderful this country is. I would like to have a celebration of my heritage, America, for a month. Thank you.
I do want to say concerning the Muslim heritage recognition for the month of January, and while we welcome all people in our country, in our town, we also need to know if they welcome us. We've seen a lot going on in our country these past couple of years. It's been very saddening for everybody. And we want to know that how does the GCLEA think about these things? They're in our community. We need to know.
Thank you for the opportunity. John Starling, Cherry Hill resident. Actually been here since 2011, serving the community at GCLEA as the director and religious leader. So I did want to share a word of thanks to the mayor for his comment this evening. I did come for a public proclamation of Muslim Heritage Month. As I said, I've been here for a number of years and enjoyed the proclamations that were given last year at the surrounding townships. Our center, GCLEA, serves not only the Cherry Hill Muslim community, but acts as kind of a hub for the surrounding townships. And yeah, when we got word that there was going to be a proclamation tonight, we were very excited to be recognized by our township, a township that we serve not only our Muslim congregants, but also the community at large. We've been serving this community since we opened in 2010 and welcoming manner. We've hosted many people to come into our doors that want to get to know us more and learn about what it is that we do. And we certainly extend that invitation to everybody here tonight, as we will be celebrating Muslim Heritage Month in January, as was mentioned, with a number of different events. And for people that have a level of curiosity, they'll see just how welcoming we are and happy to have anyone to walk through our doors. So again, thank you very much for the opportunity for comment, and looking forward to next year's proclamation, God willing. Thanks again.
Hi, my name is Elise Panich. I want to thank members of council and the mayor for your service to the community. And I just want to say, as a member of the Jewish community, I want to thank you for recognizing Muslim American Heritage Month. And I hope that it's a wonderful opportunity for greater understanding, mutual respect, dialogue, and growth of our community. Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you for this opportunity. Before I start, I wanted to wish all of you and your families a very happy new year. And I'm hoping that 2025 is a prosperous and more peaceful new year than 2024. So, recognizing Muslim Heritage Month is an opportunity to celebrate that diversity that strengthens Cherry Hill. It really does give us strength. It uplifts our community. This is our shared home. So it's not about singling out one group. That's not what that's not our intent. Our intent is to give pride to our Muslim residents, and especially the students. It's a very, very good time for them. It's validating. I know that me growing up as a Muslim, I never had these opportunities, and I wish I did. I really do. So it's a very good opportunity for our students and our Muslim students. So I would hope that, the proclamation, as Sheikh John had said, be more public, because it really does give us that sense of pride. And, a lot of those surrounding townships have done so. And it's really not a very time-consuming thing. I know you guys have a lot on your agenda, and I appreciate that. So let's just use this month. We all hope that you all can share with us and join us in a lot of activities that are being planned. I will email them to the mayor, and you're all welcome to come and to attend these. There are some at the Cherry Hill Public Library that we've planned, in the schools. So please do your best to come and show up and show us support. All right. And we all appreciate you. Thank you very much. And again, have a great and wonderful new year, every one of you.
Good evening, Rick Short, Cherry Hill.
Good evening.
On this whole topic tonight of, I guess, celebrating this culture, celebrating that culture. It's funny, after October 7th, I Never had more Muslim friends and Jewish friends in my entire life. Talked to them, my new Muslim friends and my new Jewish friends. We all kind of met headway. But I think the township, because that's what I started with last year with you, Mayor Fleischer. I asked you, we're going to be a town of truth or a town of lies? But I just realized something. Have you looked at the goals of the Cherry Hill Public Schools? It can't be more radically crazy than imaginable. It has no educational value, the goals of Cherry Hill Schools. I mean, you should really read it. I mean, DEI is featured, and you know, everybody wants diversity, equity, and inclusion, but Walmart just got rid of it. Ford Motors is getting rid of it. Harley Davidson is getting rid of it. John Deere is getting rid of it. DEI is getting rid of Caterpillar. Tractor and Supply is getting rid of DEI. Lowe's is getting rid of DEI. Ford's is getting rid of DEI. Because DEI just separates our community. Because it's always this oppressed victim on one side and the, you know, the oppressor on the other side. I mean, this is unbelievable. I mean, you've got to read this. This new website is crazy. I mean, listen to this. How white parents can use media to raise anti-racist white kids. Yeah, white parents. That's me. Because, you know, I'm a racist. I'm white, and I'm a racist. Yep. So I better read this book because, you know, our schools know better. And what's the most insane moment I've ever heard at a public meeting is when Miss Councilwoman Rashkoff stated that she was concerned about the acceptance of abolitionists. Ms. Rashkoff has to resign. She must resign from her post. She is what's called compromised. How can a public official stand behind an abolitionist, a modern day abolitionist that wants to destroy America? Our consultant, Dr. Love, says on video, she wants to destroy America. She wants to destroy capitalism. She's also commented about police. She doesn't like the police. So these are our leaders in our schools. It is radicalism at the insane. I mean, did you please take the time and read these goals? They are useless. These goals are useless. They have nothing to do with education. And then I know Councilwoman Doshie's going to say, well, Mr. Short, this doesn't affect us. Yes, it does. What just happened at the Cherry Hill Mall? Was it Cherry Hill students? Our great restorative justice program is working very well, isn't it? Was it Cherry Hill students that caused this fight? Because when you eject microaggressions into kids, when you eject, you say, oh, you have white privilege. We have to teach our children that they have white privilege and that I'm better than this person and I'm better than this person. This is what you get. DEI, SEL. This is what we're injecting our kids with. What happened at Parkland? 17 people were killed. Why? Restorative justice. Talk to the parents.
My name is Omar Raja I've been living in Cherry Hills my whole life, basically, and I guess against my mom's wishes, I don't really have a speech prepared, so this is kind of off the top of my head, came in Uggs today, so not really looking formal here, but it's kind of circling back to the proclamation. Again, Mayor, thank you very much for your proclamation earlier in the meeting. We appreciate it as a community, and we thank you for your time that you gave to us. Again, though, I guess if I want to give some more background to my involvement, because of course it's my mother, I was there when she received a call that we would not be getting the public proclamation. And of course, it was very upsetting to see, first of all, my mother be in that much distress and annoyance. Sorry. Of course, it was upsetting to see my mother in that much distress and that much, be upset to that degree over something that we believed wasn't a huge deal. But we again thank you for what you've given us. But I guess what I'm trying to say again off the top of my head, I don't really have a plan for where I'm going with this, but I just want to say that we would like, as a community, just a more public proclamation to kind of validate all the things that not just, the Muslims obviously have been through this year, but I guess everybody around the community has been through, so we all feel like we all deserve the same standing as everyone else in this community. Because, well, again, I was a student in Cherry Hill East when there weren't many Muslims around, and I had to make my way, and I had to make many friends that were not Muslim, and it was a wonderful experience to make many friends that I still hold today, even though we've gone to different colleges, spent years apart, and we still form those very close bonds. And it just feels nice to be validated, to be almost on the same standing as them, where, oh, you don't have a month, you don't have a proclamation, but, now we all are on that same level. So I guess we would all like to feel included and like to feel like we're part of this community too. So again, thank you very much for your proclamation earlier this council meeting, Mayor. We really do appreciate it. We would just strongly, I guess, advise, but ask for a more public proclamation, because it would make us feel like a much more integral part of this community as we'd like to be. Thank you.
Tuba Hussein, Cherry Hill. I also didn't plan to speak, but here I am. I just wanted to echo thanks for the proclamation, and just say that it does make a difference. I know it seems like a silly piece of paper, and I'm sure this is exactly what you want to do after sitting hours in executive session doing what probably feels like real work. But I just wanted to echo that it does make a difference for students in our community. And it reinforces not just that we're valued members of the community, but we have something to give back to the community as well. And I just wanted to share the sentiment that you hear a lot of like us and them and Americans and Muslims, but I have always grown up being told that we aren't American or Muslim, we are American Muslims, and that we're so far beyond the distinction. My parents moved to Cherry Hill from North Jersey for the education system, and it worked. I'm a Georgetown trained attorney. I represent individuals and companies in government investigations and enforcement. My sister's an EMT with the Cherry Hill Fire Department. My brother's a software engineer, and my other sister was the first disabled Muslim American on the Cherry Hill Board of Education. And each and every one of us has Cherry Hill to thank for that. We're all the children of a SAC teacher at Kingston Elementary School and a taxi driver. And I know there was mention of 9/11, but my father, the taxi driver, spent 9/11 volunteering in New York, transporting victims and firefighters. And that stemmed from them being both Muslim and American simultaneously. And they and us are all Muslim American, and we all share the goals of education and prosperity for every single member of our community, regardless of what their faith is. And growing up in Cherry Hill, I could not have asked for a better experience. The only thing I could have changed or I would have changed is a more inclusive environment. So I just wanted to stand here and sincerely thank you all for taking a step towards that. I know it's not easy. I know it seems like a small thing, but everything is politicized. And every time you make a move or do something like this, you open yourself to hours of public comment and vitriol. And it's not easy and it's a difficult position, but I just want to sincerely thank you all for taking a step towards making Cherry Hill a more inclusive community, and just say that it feels so silly to, be arguing over a piece of paper, but it really does make a difference, especially for students like me who grew up in this community and are just wondering if there's a place for us and if we have a way to give back. And I think this is the first step to saying that the answer to that is a resounding yes. So thank you so much.
Can you guys hear me?
Yes, we can.
Hi, my name is Zainab Azdener. I recently moved out of Cherry Hill to Runnymede, so right now I am in Runnymede. I'm still very interested in the Cherry Hill community, very active with my mosque there. I am going through a lot of emotions right now, so if I'm not very concise, please excuse me. So I was initially extremely disappointed at the lack of a proclamation mentioning Muslim Heritage Month, like as a part of other things in a sentence, is not a proclamation. And perhaps some people are so used to receiving crumbs that they feel grateful for this. This is one of the reasons I left Cherry Hill, honestly, because it is so racist and so Islamophobic that I'm sad to hear people having to defend their Americanness while being Muslim. That's insane. Literally, the person before me just said her dad helped firefighters and first responders at 9/11. And we have to sit there and explain that we love this country and that we deserve to belong. That's embarrassing. I am embarrassed. And it's not anyone who spoke's fault. No, it's Cherry Hill's fault. If the leadership actually supported the minorities here, people wouldn't have the audacity to go up there and say things about 1644 or what have you, any of this racist vitriol. To me, that's insane. I am flabbergasted. I'm at a loss for words. I shouldn't have to tell you what my profession is or how I have done community service for Cherry Hill or I really care about Cherry Hill. All of those things are true, but it doesn't matter, right? There are Muslims who live in Cherry Hill. There are Muslims who participate in civic service, who care about Cherry Hill. They deserve to be recognized. Furthermore, Muslim Heritage Month is not a Cherry Hill invention. Phil Murphy our governor, already said that that was a thing last year. This is not even the first time it's happening. Cherry Hill is late in adopting this. Other South Jersey townships have already issued proclamations, appropriate ones, actual proclamations that took 5 minutes. People came, they clapped, they were happy. We were robbed of that moment because, again, no offense to the council. I understand that you guys are trying to cater to your constituents, but you know that you're going to get this kind of backlash. And so you you try to belittle our proclamation as much as possible. It is an extreme disappointment. We've been put in our place. Thank you. There's nothing more embarrassing than having to go up there and say thank you for crumbs. That's how I feel. I'm extremely hurt. Honestly, I'm glad I left. I don't want my son to grow up in this toxic environment. I would go to school board meetings almost regularly until I had to give birth. Almost every single time, someone had to get up there and say stuff against DEI or what have you. Always allowed to continue and finish their speech every time. I don't get it. I really don't get it. The council needs to do better. In fact, every single one of you should be called to resign because you're anti-capitalist or whatever. I don't think you're trying hard enough. If only one of you is saying defund the police, you're not trying hard enough. Please do better. Please do better. It's not that hard to fit an extra 5 minutes to acknowledge something that the governor already acknowledged. I'm not going to sit here and be happy with one mention and a sentence full of other things that deserve their own sentences, to be honest. Everyone deserves to be celebrated. That's what being American is, right? We were told over and over again, melting pot, melting pot. But when it comes to Muslims, get out of here. Imagine if we did the same thing to Black Americans or Jewish Americans or Latino Americans. You would never, but it's okay to punch down, right? Thank you.
Ms. Rena.
Hello again. Rena Margulis, Cherry Hill. I have heard some things in this council meeting, not by members of council, but by members of the public, that suggest that there is a different category of American that might be determined by that person's religion. And I, as a Jewish person, am very much opposed to that. An American is an American. And an American doesn't have to answer questions about whether this is a good American as any other American. Because no religious group in this country should be second-class citizens in this country. But I would like to alert the members of the Muslim community who are not aware of how proclamations are usually done here in Cherry Hill. I would like to speak as somebody who has attended or watched hundreds of council meetings since 2016 and has observed hundreds of proclamations at council meetings. And the standard is that a beautiful paper is produced and members of council and the mayor read from that paper and present it to a representative of the community or otherwise to a person who is being honored. And then there is an opportunity for many photographs to be taken. That is how proclamations are virtually always done. I would like to agree with the members of the public who have expressed disappointment that there is one group that doesn't get this standard proclamation format, and that this standard format for proclamations be provided to the Muslim community next year, if once again, as I hope you will, declare next January Muslim Heritage Month.
Okay, hi again, Susan Druckengrove, Cherry Hill. I do want to commend the mayor that you did include Muslim Heritage Month in your comments. But I was also noticing, as Rena has pointed out, that there is no beautiful paper with a nice frame. There's no comments from the podium. And then there have not been photos. So Mayor Fleischer, before you leave tonight, I hope you will welcome up the people.
Go to Ms. Mintz.
Thank you, Dr. Panita Mintz, Galloway Township, New Jersey. Just want to comment regarding the proclamations to celebrate Muslim Heritage Month. And my understanding that proclamation, or the team that wanted it to be, is sponsored by the local mosque, the GLCEA, I believe. I don't know if the council members or the mayor had an opportunity to watch the imam of that mosque give the sermons. You can watch them on their website. You can also watch it on YouTube. And those sermons are very much anti-Semitic in nature. And my question to the previous public members that spoke and associating themselves with GLCEA, do you support the imam's sermons? Do you support those anti-Semitic comments that he's regularly making? And is that something that the community in Cherry Hill should welcome? I'd like to know if the council members and the mayor have done their homework to see what's going on in that mosque and why the imam is talking that way about the Jewish community and about Israel. I have grave concern about spreading anti-Semitism to all these people who go innocently to listen to his sermons and get influenced by his words. I'm very concerned. There's a lot of deception that is going on, and I'm concerned that the Muslim community is being basically told lies by that leader of that mosque. So I think the Muslim community and the Jewish community and the Christian community should work together to eradicate hatred and truly bring about coexistence rather than go separate ways and try to basically, what do you call it, tribalism, right? I think as the previous caller said, we are all Americans and we should all live in harmony together. However, when a leader, a religious leader, is behaving this way, and that's a grave concern to every Christian and every Jew in the Cherry Hill community. We're all Americans and definitely entitled to celebrate our religions, but we should not advocate for basically violence against groups within our community. So I think the Muslim community should really investigate the imam and really come clean as far as what is going on and why there's such hatred and anti-Semitism towards Jews and towards Israel. And I think the council has to really do, at least be very, very transparent to the community, that when you're doing a proclamation, okay, you have to basically verify that this does not cause any harm to any other member of the community. So I'd like the Muslim community to work with us to make sure that we eradicate anti-Semitism out of our mix. And I'm welcoming a conversation within council with the mayor's office to bring this about. Thank you.
I am pleased to have recognized Muslim American Heritage Month. For those who may have missed it, it was in last week's mayor's message, which goes out to thousands of homes. There is a framed proclamation that was delivered to a longstanding leader in the Muslim community and volunteer at Cherry Hill. They received a frame proclamation there, which I hope will be shared with the community. And then again, this evening, it was my pleasure to verbally acknowledge Muslim American Heritage Month as well. So in general, I would just, as before I hand it over, and we appreciate everyone's passions, but we are a community, I believe, that believes everyone should be treated with respect. Myself, my colleagues on council, we work very hard each and every day to ensure that people know that that is the culture of our community, that we do treat people with respect. We reject anti-Semitism, we reject Islamophobia, racism, and hate in every way, and we work very hard. In that regard as well. And our mission is indeed to help bring people together and to build bridges. And that's a commitment that we continue to make to everyone here, regardless of your faith or background, a commitment that we continue to make, and I make as mayor to all of you. So thank you for joining us. Thank you for being here, particularly to, do you have to leave? Who's wearing the Uggs? But he can come any day he wants. Okay.
He left.
Well, I was going to give him a shout out on the Uggs, but he didn't have prepared remarks, but they were heartfelt and heard. So thank you all very much.
Well, I too am excited to recognize Muslim American Heritage Month and the diversity that the Muslim community brings not only to Cherry Hill, but to America. This diversity is what makes Cherry Hill a place I am proud to call home.
Councilwoman Roscoff.
Good evening, everyone. I do want to thank you all for coming and for sharing and for being a part of our community. You are always welcome in these council chambers, and I do really appreciate you being here.
Councilman Dorenzo.
Yes, thank you. The mayor took my shout out to those two young people who came up to speak. They came up without any prepared speech or anything. However, they did a great job because, like the mayor said, you could tell it was coming from the heart. And after working with young people a lot, they do have a lot of good things to say. And all the others that came up and did have prepared speech, we're listening to them too, believe me. And believe me, I can say I was listening. The one woman on the phone call, I took that personally, referring to council members as racist, because I know in my own heart I am the furthest thing from that. Again, we're happy to promote the Muslim Historic Month.
And I wanted to thank all the comments for the Muslim Heritage Month, for everybody for coming out. As an immigrant, I want to say I did take offense as well to the person who said that we were racist up here. I love this country and town, and when I got elected to office, my dad was the one who said, I was born in a small town thousands of miles away from here. And that is the beauty of this country and this town, that they allow me to sit up here as an elected official. And I never take that for granted. I'd say that we are all immigrants here. Unless you're a Native American, everybody's an immigrant. Everybody's family was a stranger at some time. So I just ask everyone to be empathetic and put yourself in other people's shoes. So thank you and Happy New Year.
Council Vice President Gacko.
Good evening, everyone, and thank you for being here and participating, and particularly at this very, very long meeting. I too am pleased to recognize that we are recognizing formally and publicly Muslim American Heritage Month. As the mayor said, he publicly recognized it tonight, and it was in his prior email, where thousands of people get that email. Unfortunately, not that many people show up or zoom into our council meetings. There's a lot more folks who see those emails. And we celebrate our diversity here in Cherry Hill, and we are so proud of it. It makes us the special community that we truly are. And many times we've all sat up here saying again and again, Cherry Hill has no place for hate. And it is so important that every community, no matter what your religion or culture or civic background is, that you feel safe and included in Cherry Hill. And we work very hard at that. And we hope that all of the groups are teaching also inclusion and truth and mutual respect for one another. Because I truly believe we have more similarities than differences. And if we can just have open dialogue, I think everyone would understand that also, as I believe is the case. In regard to proclamations, there have been some comments about like certain procedures we have for proclamations, but I can say I recall 2 years ago when it was a different celebration of a Heritage Month for a different group, and there was no proclamation given here at a council meeting. It was given separately outside of the council to the group, and they then used it for their own celebrations and festivities. And it sounds like that was the same sort of process that was used here tonight. So I just kind of wanted to make that point, that there is no one way that we've been giving out proclamations for Heritage Months in the past.
They're back. First of all, I'd like to say unequivocally, hands down, we got your back, Ms. Carroll. That's way out of line. And we all understand that that's out of line. Even the people who made the comments understand that. So we'll go on with that. We'll leave that alone. But we have your back. We all understand it.